Hi, my name is Deb Enright, and welcome to WCS Community Connects. Wow, did we ever have fun at this year's second annual WCS Fine Arts Festival. Over 1,000 students and double that in audience members took over the factory in Franklin to celebrate music education in our Williamson County schools. Were you there? From kindergartners to high school seniors, our community got to experience the joy of watching students show off their best stuff. Whether in a jazz ensemble, a chorus of hundreds, a cast of a musical, a strings orchestra, or our first ever art throwdown. Here's a quick look at the festival through the eyes of our communications department. We'll be right back.
Today is our second annual Williamson County Schools Fine Arts Festival. We have an art display, we've got an orchestra that's getting ready to perform, we've had jazz bands performing, we've had elementary school performances with 200 kids in them. So we've had quite a day.
The Art Throwdown debut was a big success. The lead teacher on the Throwdown, Beth Affolter from Summit High, gave us a few of her thoughts during the festival. Here now, Beth Affolter talking about the Art Throwdown experience with one of her students.
This idea of taking a summer workshop from a group from Atlanta. They host Art Throwdowns now, I guess, for about 3 years, and I decided it was really something fun to try to do here for Williamson County. So we've been working with the teachers, working with the students in the schools, and tried to do it here. We did a practice run at my school, and then we did the first official one here at the factory today. We had several parts. The first part was a face-to-face draw-off where we had single elimination, about 30 students drawing, excuse me, and then one would be chosen, and then it went down to 15, and then we actually tweaked it a little bit so the numbers worked, of course, but we had it go down to the final one, and Olivia won second place, which is awesome.
I think that art has influenced me because it's given me a more creative outlook on everything that I do, and I get all these opportunities on my education. I get to come here and do these amazing things, and I get to go places and do art wherever I go, and it's just really amazing.
At our next event, which was a collaborative still life, where teams work together. All 4 people on a team. We had 5 teams where they were working on a still life of flowers, where they chose and made their own still life, and then they used oil pastels to kind of work and make a beautiful picture.
When sharing the road, reaction time is important. Motorists should reduce their speed and avoid tailgating, especially in bad weather. Cyclists have the same rights and responsibilities as motorists. They should travel in the same direction on the right hand of the road and obey all traffic signals. Observing these rules provides predictability for both motorists and cyclists. Remember, same roads, same rules, same rights.
And welcome back to WCS Community Connects. I am joined by Ted Wills, brand new owner of the Mathnasium franchise located in Franklin. Welcome, Ted. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to talk about the step you took to help us put on the Fine Arts Festival, because we couldn't have done it without you. So this year we started with some sponsors for our event, trying to fully fund it. So let's talk about how that even got started.
Sure. You know, my wife and I were new to the community, and our business is not even open yet, so we're a new business, and we were just trying to figure out ways that we could support the local school community, and I was just doing Google searches for school sponsorship opportunities, and your event came up, so I gave you a call, and that's how we ended up sponsoring it.
It worked out really well. And just so we can give a plug for people who work really, really hard, you saw it through the In Focus newsletter.
That's right.
Online newsletter, which anyone in the county obviously has access to, and our communications department works very hard. And you picked up on the fact that we were actually looking for somebody, so you called, and we said, yay, let's play.
Yeah, the In Focus popped right to the top of the Google search. So,
oh, very nice. We'll make some people very happy telling us
Yes.
that. So tell me why you chose, I mean, I know you wanted to support the schools, but tell me why the Fine Arts Festival.
I thought the Fine Arts Festival, well, I should say first that we're owner of Mathnasium. We're a math learning center, and we thought that the supporting a Fine Arts Festival dovetailed really well with what we're trying to do at Mathnasium. Math and fine arts go together really well. There's a whole mathematical component to music, there's a mathematical component to visual arts, and so we thought, you know, supporting a Fine Arts Festival was really the kind of perfect thing for us to support.
Yeah, it made more sense, as I will tell you, the Fine Arts Curriculum Specialist, who is the master of all Fine Arts Festival stuff here in Williamson County, was delighted. And that was the first thing she said, that's perfect, because they were talking about music education and how math is integral to all of that, no matter what piece of the arts you like to participate in. Well, that's great. So tell me about your experience at the festival.
The festival was great. I have to say that I was just blown away with the level of talent, of arts talent in Williamson County, and the investment of Williamson County into the arts. You know, you hear stories all the time in the news about school districts, the first thing they want to cut is the arts education, and I think that's a real shame. As someone who's invested in math education, I think that students that are taking part in the arts are much better students, and they'll do better in math. So, I mean, I was just really impressed with all around, with the talent and the investment that Williamson County really cares about the arts.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I remember seeing your name blasted everywhere, which is great for a new venture. And then I think you all had a table with some different things going on. Remind me again of what you all were doing at your table. You were giving out information, but did you have a jar or something?
Yes. So we were in the Liberty Hall. We were the Liberty Hall sponsors, so that was one of the main performing stages. We were in the back corner there, and we had a big jar of gumballs, and we were having a contest. Kids would come by, and they'd want to guess how many gumballs were in the container. So we had that. We were giving away T-shirts that says "I Heart Math" on the T-shirts.
Wow.
So
I don't think I could wear that T-shirt, honestly.
You don't heart math?
That just skipped right over me. Yeah, musician I got, but no, anything, you know, after 6/8 time, it's too hard for me. But okay, so you had T-shirts, gumballs, and it looked like you guys were always talking to somebody.
Yeah, I just really appreciate the amount of interaction that we were able to get with parents. The signage, you know, the signage sponsored by Mathnasium was all over the place. You know, you guys just did a great job of supporting the sponsors, and the community did a great job of supporting the sponsors. So many people came up to us and thanked us for sponsoring it. Teachers came up and thanked us.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it was all around just a very positive experience.
Oh, I'm glad. And you like so you guys got to see everything from kindergartners to high school seniors, right? Doing all their kinds of stuff. And then you had the great advantage of seeing all the visual art that they had hung in the back. So again, from little tiny ones learning about drawing or learning about collage to the kids who do extraordinary things in terms of visual arts.
We were fortunately placed right where all of the artwork was hanging up in the back of the auditorium, so we were able to check that out over the course of the day too.
Oh, that's good. Now, let's see. I remember that when we were talking during the festival, you had an exciting date for Mathnasium. And do you want to tell us about that opening date?
Sure. So we are having a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting on Friday, April 24th at 11:30, and then we're having our big grand opening celebration the next day, Saturday, April 25th. That'll be from 12 to 4. There will be games, prizes. We'll be providing food. It should be a good time for the whole family. So we hope people come out and join us for our grand opening celebration that day.
And tell me where your location's going to be.
So we're at 539 Cool Springs Boulevard.
Okay.
That's near the intersection of Cool Springs and Mallory Lane. We are, if you know where the P.F. Chang's is,
Yes.
we're a little bit behind the P.F. Chang's. We're next to the Music and Art Store and next to the
Okay.
Witch in that shopping center.
Okay. Oh, so again, you're next to music. I get that. That's
yes,
really
yes.
nice. I see kind of a thread going on
Maybe
here.
a theme here.
Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe you can do some kind of music thing with math, with addition. I don't know.
We're already talking to them.
Are you
about,
really?
About ways that we can, form some sort of partnership. So
Oh, wouldn't that be exciting?
yeah, that's still very preliminary though. So
Yeah, but that's exciting.
yeah.
So did you have a chance, let's see, with our other sponsors, I know you guys were working the table so hard. Did you have a chance to go? I know you were in Liberty Hall, which was a marvelous place. I don't think those stages ever stopped with their performances. Did you all have a chance to go through the rest of the factory, or did we keep you working hard right there?
We kept working hard there most of the day. We were just talking to one parent after the next most of the day. I mean, we did see a little bit of the setup at the beginning of the day.
Yes.
And I think WCAR, they had a table out in the front area. But yeah, we were manning our table most of the day.
I understand. I understand. Well, let's see. In terms of, if somebody's out there and wondering how to get involved with some of the things that we do in the district, either an event or some program, what advice would you give them to get involved?
I would just say be proactive. The school district isn't necessarily going to come knock on your door and ask you to sponsor something. You have to be willing to go out and figure out ways to do it. But as soon as I reached out, and I reached out to Deb, it was really easy after that. I mean, you were able to give us suggestions and plug us in and introduce us to the right people, and so Deb just does a great job with making the sponsorship experience very easy.
Well, it was really fun for us. I think it's a new thing for us to do. It's always nice to partner with people who are very kind and very interested in the schools, and I guess also it was just such a natural fit in terms of helping kids. So what were some of the questions parents asked?
Well, they're obviously asking us a lot of questions about our program, what grades we serve, asking us why we sponsored the event and thanking us for sponsoring the event. But it was, and a lot of it was, there's something about gumballs. Little kids love gumballs. So many times, a second or third grader would come by and just eye the gumball, go back and forth, and then they come up to our table and ask us what are the gumballs for? And then we explain it's for a contest. And then they say, okay, well, can I enter the contest? And we have to get your mom's permission. And then they'd run off, and the one kid sprinted across the room at full speed as fast as he could to go grab his mom and bring his mom over here. Yeah. And so that was probably the majority of the conversation was about our program and about the gumballs.
Oh, it's all in the gumballs.
Yeah,
then,
yes.
In terms of success. Oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
I'll remember that the next time.
Maybe that's another good sponsorship tip.
Oh, gumballs.
Get
yeah.
involved gumballs
Or bring
somehow.
gumballs.
Yes.
Nice. So do you remember who the winner was, or did you have a winner? Or?
Yes, there is a winner, and it was actually interesting. The winner was a dad who was an engineer.
No way.
Yes, and so we had a big jar of gumballs and a little jar of gumballs, and in the little jar there was 20 gumballs. So the dad knew what questions to ask. He is, how many ounces is the small jar? How many ounces is the big jar? And he did a ratio to figure out. He got within 2 of the actual number of gumballs.
So there is a reason. For all you doubters out there, there is a reason to take algebra.
Yes, no, well,
you could win a gumball contest.
It was actually appropriate because he used math to figure out he got within 2 of the correct amount of gumballs.
Maybe he can be an adjunct on your staff now.
Perhaps.
In terms of games.
I think he's probably pretty busy with his day job.
Yeah. Well, just in case.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you for coming.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
It was so fun to work with you. I wish you the best. I think Mathnasium sounds like just a wonderful, wonderful community partner with us. Tell me again the dates now for the grand opening.
Okay.
Ribbon cutting is?
The chamber ribbon cutting is on April 24th at 11:30.
Okay.
And then the grand opening celebration is April 25th from 12 to 4.
Well, I can't imagine how cool it's going to feel to take those scissors and cut that ribbon and start to serve our community?
It's, you know, this has been, my wife and I have been working on this for about 1.5 years now.
Wow.
So it'll be a good moment. It'll be the culmination of, you know, a lot of hard work over the past 1.5 years.
Well, we are glad you are here, and we're glad that you helped us, and we hope we can help you as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Ted. Thanks so much.
It's been great.
Good, good. Well, this is WCS Community Connects. That was Ted Wills. He's from Mathnasium of Franklin, and we'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to WCS Community Connects. I'm very excited to introduce you to our next guest. He's a friend of mine and does an awful lot in our community, from the chamber to things at school. He was instrumental in our wonderful fair. Dave Crouch, who is also the moderator of Public Affairs Roundtable, which is a wonderful program. Dave, it comes on, you guys film it once a month, so tell me about Public Affairs Roundtable.
Public Affairs Roundtable is a TV show that was started 20 or 25 years ago by the old Franklin Chamber.
Oh, wow.
And has been carried on by the new combined chambers. And we typically have our legislative delegation as guests the first several months of the year while they're in session in Nashville. And then throughout the rest of the year, we invite the mayors of all the cities in the county to come and tell us what's going on that's special in their communities. So
now, how does this help? Well, I guess two questions. So how does it help the chamber, right, to bring these folks? And then how does it help all of us in the community to hear from these folks?
Selfishly, it's really a good vehicle for us to get to know our legislators. Senator Jack Johnson, Representative Charles Sargent, Glenn Cassida, Jeremy Durham are very important people in this community. And the chamber has a lot of interest in what goes on with the state legislature, and so it gives us an opportunity to get to know them personally. But the thing that I really like about the show is that we have time to dig deeper into the issues than maybe the media does in their 3-minute segment they might have on it.
I see what you're saying. So in a newscast, it's really very short, but you
Right.
guys can take your time and you can follow up and ask some questions. So
Right.
what are some of the issues that might be facing us at this point that you've either directed questions to or are considering asking questions of our legislators?
We had a special show earlier this year on the Insure Tennessee program that the governor has proposed. A lot of the chamber membership is interested in that program. The healthcare industry would like to see that passed. Unfortunately, our legislative delegation was listening to constituents that didn't want it, and so they didn't support it. And it gave us a chance to more understand both sides of the story, and we dug into it pretty deep earlier this year.
I remember that show. When you think about what questions you're going to ask, you know, for all the show prep that you do, so for instance, for a show like that, when you really have the chance, because the four gentlemen are giving of their time and are doing it for an information purpose.
Correct.
Is there a line you kind of stay within, or if you need to push the boundary, do you feel comfortable with your relationships with them that you can?
I push the boundary sometimes, and they'll push back occasionally. And but we're always very respectful. As I tell the audience when we open it up for questions, anything's okay to ask as long as you do it respectfully and respect the other side of the story as opposed to thinking there's only one side.
Well, I think it's amazing because this show is pretty early in the morning you all tape, and you get all those people, and what I've noticed, Dave, is that the crowd continues to grow. And I wonder if that has to do implicitly with the growth of the county. You're at the forefront of that with all the boards that you serve on and all the committees within the chamber. So as you all have talked about that, and I know they just had a huge Outlook Williamson, very successful event to talk about what's going forward, what are the push buttons or the hot button topics for residents here in the county?
Education is always at the top of the list for the chamber, as well as I think obviously all the parents in the county. So it's a huge topic, and we try to stay on top of all the details there. Transportation, traffic, that's another very big issue here. Probably the biggest one we're facing right now, and the Chamber is having discussions about what the appropriate response would be from the Chamber to try to help solve that problem. But it's a pretty tricky one, and one that's going to take a lot of different ways to approach it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to, it certainly is vexing, and there certainly have been other communities around the nation who have walked through that path, and I'm hopeful, I'm very sure that the Chamber's talking to those folks as well, because that can really veer a very successful community off track if people start to get frustrated by it. Well, talk to me a little bit about schools and the importance of our schools here in the community and how that shores up some of the work that the Chamber tries to do.
Well, schools are the greatest draw this county has. Anytime a corporate headquarters relocation is going on, one of the first things they want to know is, can they put their kids in the public schools where they're moving? And Matt and his economic development team deal with this every day. And so it's very important that we maintain a high standard, and the Chamber wants to support the school system any way we can to ensure that that doesn't change.
Well, and I think you all do. One thing that you did as a parent and a community member was to join us in our first WCS Ambassadors class. And here's my question to you, after working all through that program and meeting all these different people, and particularly with the seat that you hold in the Chamber, you know that about 30% of our community, you know, have children in the schools. And then about 70%, which just, when you hear that percentage, you kind of go, that can't be right. It must be just the opposite, right? Well, you think, right? 35,000 kids, and that's a lot of mums and dads and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. But so about 70%. So how do you think the district can grab the attention of the folks who are in that 70% to get them to come along and think about ways to partner with us?
That's my curveball question, right? That's, I mean, frankly, it's a difficult sell. And but, you know, almost everybody has had kids or has grandkids or has friends that have kids, and nobody wants to see those kids struggle in life. We want them as well prepared as possible. And I think that's the way we just have to keep reminding folks that it is so important to help these kids figure out. What I've focused on with mine is trying to help figure out what they're good at.
Yes.
And then encourage them.
Yes.
You know, and the nice thing about Williamson County Schools is there are lots of opportunities there for them to
try different things.
Try different things and discover things that they didn't even realize they were good at.
And I know quickly from our conversations that with your two sons, you've got a kind of a traditional guy. Sorry, 3 sons. I'm thinking of the 2 that I know. I'm so sorry. Not the little
it's
one.
All right, Johnny.
Not the little one who's playing basketball. My apologies. I'm thinking of the 2 that are in Centennial, or used to have 2 at Centennial.
Right.
You've got one that's kind of a traditional APer, if you will. Jack's doing a great job of that.
Right.
And then you had your eldest, who's now at, I want to say it right, or I know I'm going to get in trouble.
Mississippi
State.
Right.
That he went the dual enrollment route.
Right.
Partially to strategize for his college experience, which I think is wonderful.
Right. I had a mixed experience in college, and I was anxious for Charlie to get all the core curriculum requirements out of the way. I didn't want him to have to go to college and take English again the 13th year. And
is that because you liked English so much?
You know, I loved it, but
yes.
It didn't love me. No, and thanks to the good advice of an old UT professor to check into the dual enrollment program, Charlie was able to do 30 hours of college credit courses.
That's amazing.
By the time he graduated from high school.
Well, it's also so for two things. So it helps the student who may be thinking beyond the high school experience, but also what a game changer in terms of the finances of college as well. You could say, was that almost a year or year and a half?
That's basically, he could have started as a sophomore.
Wow.
Because 30 hours is typical freshman load. And, you know, and that was all done at very attractive prices because of the dual enrollment grants.
That's right.
That you can get
so
through
just
the
for
state of
hundreds
Tennessee.
rather than thousands.
Yeah.
Right?
And Jack is going to have more hours than Charlie by the time he graduates.
I love that.
So now, and he's also doing a lot of AP on top of that, so he's the overachiever. But
well, they're all achievers. I think I saw your little one playing basketball one time at I want to say Grassland, but I may have that wrong. Well, they're keeping you busy. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to make sure that we watch the Public Affairs Roundtable to get all the backstory to what people are doing. And then, as you said, you've got the state legislatures, which is just marvelous for those gentlemen to give so much time. And then you also think of other levels like mayors, and I think that's terrific too. And so I hope everyone will tune into that. But I'm going to ask you again at another time after you've had time to think about it, how we engage that other 70%. Because I think, to your point, we've all had kids in school, and when that time is over, it's not over. We still have little ones who need to make sure that they've got the best in their classroom, best teachers. And I think the extracurricular experience is really important too, and is expensive.
Right.
So, and I love what the Chamber does in terms of the mentoring that they do and the teacher externships and student internships. And so whether you've got a kid in a school or not, you can still be involved with our schools.
Lots of ways to get involved, and it's a real investment in the future. If anything we can do that helps the school system out, so we're happy to help.
Well, thank you. Dave, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Deb.
Was it fairly painless?
It wasn't too bad.
Not too bad. Maybe we'll have you back again.
Hey.
All right.
I'm open.
Well, good. Please watch the Public Affairs Roundtable. It's a monthly show. Dave Crouch does a great job of moderating. He brings all kinds of interesting folks to the table to talk about what's affecting our community. My thanks again. This is WCS Community Connects. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, folks. I'm Bill Fitzgerald with the Franklin Rodeo. The 66th Annual Franklin Rodeo kicks off May 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park. The Franklin Noon Rotary Club is proud to support One Generation Away. This year, we're asking you to bring your canned goods and come out and enjoy the rodeo, enjoy the entertainment, but fight hunger with One Generation Away. So get your tickets at franklinrodeo.com.
And that does it for us today on WCS Community Connects. Oh wait, one more thing. I want to let you all know about a brand new publication. It's called Profile in Excellence. And our wonderful communications department worked very hard with all of our other departments to put this together. It's a general information overview of all the things that are happening in our schools, all the departments that make it happen, and all the wonderful things our students and faculty are doing. It's available in hard copy, just like this one here, or you can find it online at wcs.edu. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Deb Enright, and this is WCS Community Connects. See you next time.